Hi everyone, I get a lot of emails asking about tennis trading. Obviously the most common one in the last few months has been how do I select which match to trade. So in this video I'm going to try and answer that question. So to answer the question, it really depends on your level of tennis trading, how much experience you've got. Obviously anyone who's traded tennis for any length of time and is making a decent second income or even trading full time isn't going to be asking me which matches to trade. So I'm going to aim the video at beginners and hopefully it's of use to intermediate traders as well. So start by looking at which tours are suitable to trade. Really any main draw, so not qualifying round, ATP and WTA matches will have enough liquidity to trade it. Don't need to worry about that. Could be the occasional weird situation where you've got 5 or 6 tournaments in the same week. If a lot of the matches are on at the same time, there could be one or two that don't attract the traders' attention. There's only so much traders' money to go around. Challenges generally okay to trade, especially if there's no ATP or WTA matches on at the same time. Check if you're going to trade one of the challenges that once the match starts, after every point there's 3 or 4 figure sums going into the market, and that's easier to see if you're using the ladder interface on some trading software. I used to say that you should look for matches with over 50,000 matched before the match starts. It doesn't really apply so much these days. If a match has less than 50k matched, it can still be okay to trade as long as enough money is added to the market, but after every point. Generally speaking, if a match does have 50k or more before the match kicks off, it'll be fine to trade. I would say don't trade ITFs. Liquidity will be really poor. You may be able to get your entry bets in, but trying to get out of a trade is going to be difficult unless you take really poor value. Just leave them alone, not worth the hassle. So if we do a liquidity check, that can help us reduce the number of matches that we're going to be choosing from, which makes the decision of which one to trade that little bit easier. So then the next decision is, once we select a match, how are we going to trade it? If you're a beginner, you're probably looking to concentrate on 1, maybe 2 single strategies. Perfectly normal. I would say before you get involved in any match, you need to be doing at least some research. So I'm not saying spend half an hour looking through every detail of a match, but you need to be checking the numbers to some degree. And the best way to do that is with a paid stats site. If you want to use some free sites, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you some sites that you can use. Obviously, they're limited as to the stats that they can give you, but it's better than nothing. I'll cover that at the end. Okay, so if we take a look at the Tennis Profits site, go to the trading stats report. Now on here, what you can do is select which strategy you're looking to use. So back the server, lay the leader, lay the set one winner, or just general swing trading. And it will pick out the relevant stats that you need to be checking to give yourself a chance of some profit in those matches. So let's go with back the server because that's a popular one amongst new traders. Let's look just, let's not, I was going to say let's look at WTA. Let's not look at WTA for back the server. So let's look at these matches here. So what we're looking at: first serve percentage, first serve points won percentage, service hold percentage, percentage of break points saved. They're the ones that if you're just going to be trading back the server, I think they're the important stats that you need to be looking at. So really you want to be selecting a match where at least one of the players has greens in all of them. In this case Draper does. So Draper, Kokinakis, you can see all the figures there are pretty strong. You'd be okay to back server, assuming the price is okay for both players. So straight away there, that's picked a match out for you. Do we have any others? Okay, it's the only one where you've got all greens. You could just look for a match where you've got mostly greens. Mazzetti Diallo. So first serve points 1 and service hold percentage, all in the green zone. That's going to be an ideal match to trade. Back the server. And what we can also do is just select key stats. Just if you wanted to compare the players, just generally, really. I think these are all Davis Cup matches. Service holds, percentage of points won against the opponent's serve, breakpoints saved, breakpoints won, and how often the opposition holds. So ideally you want that to be a lower number, which is why on that one, 88%, their opponent held serve 88%. So their serve is nothing special, which you can see from service holds 55%. So it's a really good tool if you just want to have a quick look and to use the tool to pick out matches that can be suitable to trade, depending how you want to trade it. One thing that I know a lot of new traders and intermediate traders with some experience, what they'll do is look at names that they recognize, maybe players that they've traded in the past and they did well out of. The player went behind and came back, so they think they'll wait for the player to go behind, etc., etc. And they'll look at the price to see if it's half decent. So for example, if they traded Sakari the last time, she started really slowly, went 2-0 down at the start of the match. If she does the same, she's probably going to be over evens. Good time to back her. And a lot of the time that will work out. Obviously it's better the more experience, the more knowledge you've got of the players. It is a little bit risky though, because what you're not going to see just doing it that way, if the last time you traded Sakari was 6 months ago, maybe she was having a really bad period of form. Maybe at the minute she's serving really well, etc., etc. Or it could be the other way around. Maybe you traded and she had a fantastic day on serve, as she can do. She serves well, very tough to break. And maybe her recent form is dodgy. She's maybe had a little bit of an injury and she's actually likely to trade a lot higher. So what you don't want to be doing is thinking, well, I'll just lump on her at 144. She's going to serve as well as she did 6 months ago. Easy money. And she goes behind, calls medical timeout, market goes nuts. These things can happen really easily. So this is why you really need to be doing at least some research. You know, if you're going to do your trading, take it seriously. Lazy traders tend to be skint traders. So once you've narrowed down the number of matches that you're looking at, there is no real alternative to actually doing some research on the matches that you've now got to choose from. If you're not too sure how to do that, there are some videos that I'll post the links to in the description. There are some where I show a full research method. There's some videos that I released just recently that can show you how to predict a tennis match winner in just a few seconds, and it literally does take way less than a minute to do. So if you're not doing anything at the minute research wise, that's going to be taking you a step in the right direction. And again, I'll put links in the description to this video. So I said I would show you some sites where you can get stats for free. Obviously you're not going to get the same range of stats that you would in the paid for sites, but some of these stats are useful. The slight downside of the ATP one, I'll put links to all these in the description. If we look at all serve leaders, only seems to go to 83, so the top 83 in the world, or the top 83 best servers. In there you've got a serve rating. Not sure how they work that out. I'm sure it explains it on the site somewhere. First serve percentage, first serve points won, second serve points won, percentage of service games won, number of aces, and average double faults in a match. And you can break that down by surface. Let's have a look at return stats. How many of those does it give? Is it the top 83 players? I don't know. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. So again, on return, a return rating that the site's come up with itself. Percentage of first serve return points won. Percentage of second serve return points won, percentage of return games won, and break points converted. All useful stuff. And one thing that is quite interesting on here, the under pressure leaders, tells you how often they convert break points, how often they save break points, tie breaks won, and deciding sets won. So that's useful enough. Certainly you'll be able to, as long as your two players are in the top 83, you'll be able to compare the stats for those. For the ladies, you get something very, very similar, except they seem to do a lot more players. So again, you can choose between serve stats and return stats. Serve stats, again, pretty good. You've got aces, double faults, first serve percentage, first serve points won percentage, second serve percentage, second serve points won percentage, break points saved, and service games won. Return stats, you've got how often they return. Jesus, start again. First serve points won. No, return points won against. Jesus, start again. Return points won against first serve. Return points won against second serve. Return games won. Break points converted, and return points won. If we look at how many players they cover, let's click on show more. It just seems to go on and on and on. Certainly beyond the 83 that the ATP give you. 200, 250, almost 300. So you have a very good chance there that the two players that you're looking to compare are going to be in the top 300. So that, if you're looking for stats to compare without having to pay for one of the paid for sites, definitely worth a look. Another site that I always found quite confusing, I didn't look at it for long, to be fair. On here you've got, if you look at down at the bottom here, it gives results and forecasts. So if we look at San Diego, which is obviously where we are at the minute, you've got today's matches, Jabeur Potapova, and gives the percentage chance that they're going to make the next round. So they're in the second round at the moment. According to this Jabeur, according to their prediction model, Jabeur's got 70.8% chance of beating Potapova, which I can't disagree with. They're favouring Kenin to win. Sakari to win, 75% against Osorio. Don't agree with that one. I think Navarro's going to take that, but it is going to be close. This one, they've got Haddad Maia, a slight favourite to win. I'd agree with that. I think they're wrong on Krejcikova. Krejcikova seems to be carrying a bit of an injury, or is still getting over an injury. Got a feeling that Kalinina is going to take that one. Ostapenko, fairly close between her and Collins. I think Collins is going to take it. No guarantee that I'm going to be right. And the way Garcia's played recently, I think she's going to have problems with Stevens, but they've gone for Garcia to win. So it's useful if you're going to use those predictions. I would paper check them, paper trade them for a few days just to see how often they get them right. I haven't done that, so maybe they're going to get them all right and I'm going to get some of them wrong. You never know. So there's some free sites that you can use. Do some research. Once you've selected a match that you think is going to be suitable liquidity wise, it's a main tour, main draw match, you've got your strategy sorted out, it would be useful to know who's going to win it, and they could give you a little bit of advice in that respect. So I hope that's been useful. I say all the links will be in the description. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.